Welcome to Cyberpunk Tales from the Oasis, Episode 3, The Welcome Committee. Getting arrested is one of the worst things that can happen to edgerunners such as ISO, Mavis, Reed, and Sedoy. Society generally doesn't look kindly on people that carve their own path through systems of bureaucracy, and the inside of a jail cell is not a particularly unfamiliar sight for any of our characters. The gloom and musty air hangs around them as the TV screen blares on in the corner, a peppy woman with golden hair blathering on about whatever hot news has graced the screen sheets today. The party waits, unsure and anxious about what will happen when the far door opens back up again. This is Episode 3, The Welcome Committee. Alright, so you're all inside this detention cage, basically. You've all freed yourself from the handcuffs and are just kind of wandering around. And it's probably a good hour or so before the police come back in and come talk to you. Is there anything that y'all wanted to do during that hour?
Well, like I said, I was making backups of my recordings.
I am very deliberately not freed from the cuffs, if that's okay.
Okay.
I shy away when our good friend Reed tries to free us. I'm just kind of sat down, gun on my lap, I guess. Just like, well, done it again.
Well, the police come back in, and they're still heavily armed. 3 of them come in pointing guns at you. One of them comes forward, who's clearly the one that's kind of in charge. Steps forward past all the police officers that are pointing guns at you. She's a pretty well-dressed looking person. She's wearing the same sort of police-style uniform, but in a much more put-together kind of way that looks almost more like a suit. She doesn't appear to be carrying any weapons, but you do notice one thing that does stick out as a little odd. As she comes in and sort of like takes a look at each of you, you can see on the side of her face, like right above her neck, kind of where the neck and the jawline meet, she has this gigantic blue chip that's glowing stuck in the side of her head. She steps forward past all the police officers, examines all of you, and then says, "Well, it does seem like you all have gotten yourself in a little bit of a pickle. We just have a couple of questions for you."
Okay.
Who'd like to go first?
Sure.
Okay, if you want to go.
Hit me. Not literally hit me, but, shoot the questions. Don't shoot the gun. I'm not nervous.
She goes forward and presses her thumbprint on something, and then the gate opens up and says, "Please come and follow me."
All right. Iso gets up, stumbles a bit, and confidently walks out of the cell.
See you in the next life, streamer.
She notices that you don't have handcuffs on and goes, "Well, glad you already got those off. Very sorry about that." She walks you out of the room and down a small hallway and into a even smaller room that has not but a table and a big light. It's clearly some sort of interrogation room. She sits you opposite of her, and 2 of the other guards come in. They lower their weapons so they're not pointing at you anymore, but they're still there as kind of a threatening, like, don't try anything kind of presence. At least that's what they're aiming for. She sits down across from you and opens up a little data pad and types something on it, and then says, "All right, well, first, let's go with your name."
Right. Well, just for the data pad, because you probably recognize me.
Name, please.
Yes. Cameron Iso Cavallo.
And she asks for spelling on your last name.
Cavalvo.
Says, "All right. And a second question, why are you here?"
Well, we've heard great things about the Oasis. I was curious. Things back home weren't so great, so I figured, why not take my chances here, right?
Dissatisfaction with previous life. Yes, check. Next question, how did you find out about this place?
There were whispers around the net, and eventually you know a guy who knows a guy, and then you know that guy, and that guy knows about the Oasis, so...
Does this guy have a name?
He goes by the nickname Shark.
Shark.
And, he deals with information and loans, and it's kind of shady guy, not gonna lie. It's kind of shady.
And he's from Night City, correct?
Yeah, outskirts.
She types a couple of other things into her data pad and says, "All right, well, did you tell anyone else how you were traveling or where you were traveling to?"
Well, I told my family I was leaving for the Oasis, but I never said the exact day because I was told not to by Shark, and you can be pretty persuasive, if you know what I mean.
But you did tell your family that you were heading to the Oasis, yes?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's excellent. We definitely want to have more people knowing about the Oasis, and please do tell your friends. Invite as many as you can. We're constantly growing,
Well,
so please do tell everyone.
if you need some PR, I'm your man.
And make sure that they mention your name so we can use your referral code and give you your bonuses.
Bonuses? Referral codes? You're speaking my language.
All right, next question. Did you see anyone in your group, anyone in your party, drop or dispose of anything, even like clothing or something, after the encounter with the raiders?
Well, I mean, the kid's mom dropped, but I haven't seen anything else drop.
The kids. Oh, you're talking about Lilith?
Yeah, she promises money, but then, the whole head explodey deal,
Head
Leo.
split. Where is she? The manifest says she was supposed to be in the car.
Yes, she still sort of is parts of her.
Her eyes go wide. Oh, I see.
I mean, I have it on camera. Like, I have footage of the whole ordeal if you want.
Oh, yes, that would actually be excellent if you could send that to this address. Oh, right. Oh, we'll get in contact with you and get the footage later.
I mean, I have a memory chip for you.
She says, oh, well, that will work just fine. Here. And she takes the memory chip, hands it to one of the officers, and he leaves with your memory chip. Now, last question for you.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone in this city that you can stay with? Anyone in the Oasis that would be happy to welcome you into your home? We need you to stay nearby for now until we get this all sorted out.
Well, I mean, I wasn't planning to leave. I just got here. But no, I do not currently have any residents to speak of. But I'm sure I can arrange something.
All right, then.
I'm quite persuasive, and people know me.
She types another couple things onto her datapad and says, well, I think that's all the questions we have. These fine gentlemen will escort you to the secondary waiting room, which I hope shall be more pleasant than your previous one. Thank you for being honest, and we'll let you know if we have any additional questions.
You're more than welcome.
You're led out of the room, cut back to everyone else who's still sitting in the jail cell. The woman comes back without ISO and says, all right, now who's next?
I'll go.
What happened to the kid, first of all?
Well, he's currently being debriefed, and we're attempting to contact his father.
That's good. That's good.
It's good to hear.
You're next, then? Yes?
Da, I come.
So you follow, Sedoy follows the woman outside and is led to the second interrogation room where she sat down and given the same questions. Now, why are you here?
I am offered a job. I come to Oasis to earn money.
All right, and do you know how to get in contact with your employer?
It's a good question. Do I?
You were told that you were going to be met whenever the caravan arrived at the Oasis. Obviously, plans went a little bit awry. But no, you don't have any way of contacting your employer.
They were supposed to meet here when I come here with caravan, but, well, you see, we have trouble.
Oh, I see. Her voice drops a little bit and she says, so, my next question is, how did you find out about this place, about the Oasis? Did you find out about it from your employer, or were you already researching it? From your employer?
I needed to get out of Night City, and this employer seemed to have a good place, so I said, why not?
Did you tell anyone else where you were going, or what manner you were traveling?
Only my bodyguards, who come with me to a caravan.
Oh, well, excellent. We hope that he ends up joining us, and if he does, make sure that he mentions your referral code, and we'll be sure to add those bonuses to your accounts.
Oh, he doesn't know my name.
Oh, well, that's okay. We still appreciate the free press. Next question. Did you see anyone in your group drop or dispose of anything, even like clothing, after the encounter with the raiders?
I dropped 3 bullet casings and 2 bullets into scavenger head, 1 bullet into ground.
But you didn't see anyone else in your party drop anything?
Only the lady who died.
I heard about that. I'm sorry. And her body was...
Oh, and your man, the Geralt, I think?
Gothard?
Yeah, Gothard. Yes, he dropped and exploded.
Oh, I see. Oh my gosh, that's highly unusual. Okay.
Da.
Well, do you have any friends here in the Oasis that you can stay with, or family members while we sort this out? We might need to get in contact with you over the next week.
I have tent and bedroll. I will be okay.
Well, camping is not permitted within the city limits, but you can always go to the Raiders' Paradise right outside, if you so desired. But we'll see if we can get something together for you. Thank you for your time and your honesty. And if you'll please follow these fine gentlemen to the secondary waiting room, we will be with you shortly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and what was your name again?
My name is Ekaterina Sedoy Lebezininov.
You practiced that, didn't you?
No,
I felt the practice from here.
She starts to type that in and then just sort of like shakes her head and says, could you just repeat that to this microphone?
Ekaterina, my handle is Sedoy. My last name is, let me look at the text, Lebezininov. Lebezininov. It means swan, sort of.
The voice-to-text accurately transcribes your name, even through your thick Russian accent, onto this datapad, and you get escorted out of the room. The woman comes back to Mavis and Reed.
Mavis, you sure you don't want to be untied?
I'm sure if they want me untied, they'll untie me, alright?
Alright. Whatever.
All right, who's next to be processed? Either one of you.
Reed just shrugs and stands up, sort of shoulders his backpack.
Good luck, Reed.
She looks you up and down, and there's like a barely disguised sneer on her face. She says, yeah, please, sir, come follow me.
Right.
She leads you to the same interrogation room and sits across from you. Your character as a nomad, this situation probably makes you very, very nervous because getting caught by police from any sort of place is generally a bad idea.
Yeah.
But especially whenever you're not necessarily as plugged into the city as everyone else is.
Yeah.
You're acutely aware of the fact that you could just kind of disappear into the system at any point.
Yep.
She says, all right, well, let's just start with the simple one for you. What's your name?
Thomas Reed. Call me Reed.
Thomas Reed. Well, Thomas.
Fuck.
How did you find out about this place?
I presume same way everybody else was. Word of mouth.
Word of mouth. And who specifically did you get these words from? What mouth did they come from?
The leader of my pack. Her name's Roman.
And what is your pack?
We're the Aquillas. We're affiliated with the Aldecardos.
Right, the Aldecardos affiliate Aquillas. All right. Now, did you tell anyone outside of your nomad group? Any friends or lovers, perhaps? Where you were traveling or by what method?
Look, family is family. You tell all within family. But apart from that, ain't got anyone else to talk to, really.
Okay, well, if you do happen to make friends, please do tell everyone about the Oasis, and if you give them your referral code, you can get your bonuses deposited directly into your account.
Right.
Next question, did you see anyone drop or dispose of anything, like even clothing, after the encounter with the Raiders?
Not sure.
Well, think very hard. This is important, and there is a dead woman involved.
Yeah, most of the time I was... Look at it this way, I was driving. I was focusing on getting us the fuck out of there after the shit that went down after your man blew up.
All right. Well, that's okay then. I'm sure we can piece together what happened.
We did have a bunch of people in the air, if you want to interview them eventually.
Certainly, yes. If you could hand me their contact information, that would be great.
Right.
She passes you the data pad, you enter it in.
Yeah, he just sort of enters in like a radio code and the fact that there's like a Zephyr 3 or 4 miles outside the city.
And last question, do you know anyone in the city that you can stay with? We will need you to stay close by for the next week or so in case we have any additional questions.
Just fucking rolls his eyes and goes, what do you think? I'm a fucking nomad.
All right, I'll take that as a no. She types something into her datapad and says, well then, sir, thank you for your answers and honesty. If you'll follow these fine gentlemen, we'll get you sorted out, and yeah, we'll get you taken care of.
When can I get out of here anyway?
Get out? You just arrived.
Ugh, fucking grounders. And he just walks out.
She comes back and says, all right, well, you're up, lass. If you'll please follow me, she says this to Mavis.
Oh, all right.
And leads Mavis to the same interrogation room. As you arrive, she says, oh, I'm so sorry about that. I didn't realize that you were still cuffed. Let me take care of that for you.
Thank you kindly.
And she snips them with a little bit of cyberware that comes out of her fingers and cuts the handcuffs off.
Like, shake my wrists out and get some circulation going again.
She asks you the same questions. What's your name?
Mavis Goodwin.
Mavis Goodwin. Oh, that's a nice name. I like it.
Thank you. I chose it myself. Good of heart. I should know. I've got plenty of them.
How did you find out about the Oasis?
Through an employer. I presume it was Gothard, to be honest. The man who led the convoy originally.
Oh, yes, Gothard. He was such an excellent transporter. It's a shame that he's dead now and his referral will go to waste.
It is a shame. He certainly saved all of us. I hope that's noted on that fancy file you got there.
I will certainly note that. Now, did you tell anyone where you were going or how you were traveling?
Just Beatrice. Beatrice knows where I'm going and how I was going. But she don't really know much more than that.
Well, we thank you very much. We want everyone to know about the Oasis, and if she does end up showing up, make sure that she mentions your name and we can get that referral code sent straight to you.
Oh, I'm sure she won't want to make the trip, but I'll bear that in mind. Thank you.
Now, did you see anyone else in your party drop or dispose of anything, even clothing, after the encounter with the raiders?
No, the only thing that hasn't made it all the way was poor Lilith there. I bought something with me. I think it might be the rifle what ventilated her, but that's back in the vehicle. If that thing's still running at all, not blown to pieces by now.
Her eyes raise and she says, "You have the murder weapon with you?"
Well, I think so. I'm not certain, but after we had our unfortunate encounter, we had a much more closer encounter with a fellow with a rifle. We kept that with us just in case. I mean, I don't know if it can help.
That was listed on the recovered items list. Yes. Well, we thank you very much for bringing that. Once we're done with the ballistics, if it doesn't match, we'll make sure to get that back to you.
Well, thank you kindly.
Now, do you know anyone in this city that you can stay with? We need you to stay nearby for a while until we sort this out, maybe a week or so.
Right. No, I don't know anyone. As far as I was aware, I was getting here and turning right back around. I was just hired for the convoy.
Oh, well, unfortunately, we're going to have to ask you to stick around for the next week or so.
Okay.
It's a beautiful city, full of all sorts of very interesting things that I'm sure someone laboriously took a bunch of time to add and create and fill out backstories for.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I'm sure you can find plenty of things to do over the next week.
I would love to check those out. If I'm here anyway, then I'll make sure to check them all out. I wouldn't want any of that work to go to waste. How is Brandon, by the way? Someone took him away earlier. Is he doing okay?
Oh, yes, you must be the Mavis he kept asking about. Yes, no, he's doing fine. He's a little shaken.
Understandable.
We're getting in contact with his father, and he should be safe from here on out. You don't need to worry about him.
Well, I'm glad. I'm sure y'all are taking good care of him.
So she takes you out and brings you to the secondary waiting room where everyone else is waiting, and there's a lot poppier, jazzier music playing in here. For everyone else who has been sort of trickling in here last 10, 20 minutes or so, this is a much nicer waiting room. There's a synthetic coffee machine off in the corner.
My favorite.
And there's a little muted video screen that's showing some of the latest scream sheets from the Oasis. And it's just kind of generally a pleasant little waiting room. Mavis is brought in. The woman who has been interviewing you comes in and says, "Well, thank you so much for answering all of those questions. We'll be tabulating your answers and comparing them. We're very sorry that the Oasis caravan didn't end up making it this time, but so happy that you ended up making it here on your own. Very sorry about the inconvenience. We normally have a little bit more ceremony of this, but here we go. Welcome to the Oasis. This is a paradise for everyone, and everyone is welcome. We just hope that you can use your skills to help us build a better tomorrow. Here's the Wi-Fi encryption key," and she types a couple of things, and you get the encryption key basically beamed to all of your internal cyberware.
Oh, yeah.
And suddenly you're able to access the intranet in the Oasis, which is kind of like a localized internet that serves just for here. You notice that you can't get into contact with any of your Night City addresses that you normally would be able to visit, so entertainment and communication from Night City at the moment is unavailable. Now, it also looks like you've all been pre-approved for a week of limited income housing, which will be provided to you at no cost by the Oasis as a bit of an apology for the way that things, well, turned out.
Well,
Very fancy, and you should be enjoying it.
Finally.
Again, I must apologize. We normally have some more ceremony for our invited guests and the ones of the caravan, but here you go. And she takes a chunk of packets and just sort of unceremoniously tosses them your direction and says, "Welcome to the Oasis."
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. This was Cyberpunk Tales from the Oasis. Please check out our website at talesfromtheoasis.com to get involved with the podcast. And remember, society needs to normalize taking time off, and working ridiculous hours with no breaks should be pitied and not celebrated. Thanks for tuning in.